Lost Boys is the greatest vampire movie ever made. Yeah, I said it. Suck it, Bela Lugosi. Suck it, Anne Rice. Sit on a flaming chainsaw, Stephanie Meyer. But not you, Joss. We're cool, bro. Now, to be fair, my assertion that The Lost Boys is the greatest vampire movie ever made is somewhat subjective, because as a general rule, I don't like vampire movies. Okay, to be clear, I don't like the traditional vampire story. First off, Dracula has been done to death. Hollywood just needs to retire that character.
Look who's got a bad case of dark prince envy.
I have no interest in you. Leave us.
No, we're not going to leave you. And where'd you get that accent? Sesame Street? 1, 2, 3. 3 victims.
Xander. I'm pretty sure that's Dracula.
Wow, really?
Then there's the whole tormented monster desperately trying to cling to his humanity trope that for some reason tween girls and middle-aged housewives just can't get enough of.
Then rely on me to educate.
Be gone, innocent one!
What's wrong?
You may choose not to believe in them, but I am a monster.
I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. If I was granted vampiric powers, there wouldn't be any moral struggle. I would just run with it until somebody stopped me. And no, I wouldn't be one of those, oh, I only drink pig's blood or whatever because I respect human life. No. As long as there are pedophiles and people who park like this in the world, I think I could stay well fed. Where was I? Oh, right, The Lost Boys. Okay. So anyways, this movie was the brainchild of Richard Donner. His original vision was something along the lines of The Goonies, but with vampires. Luckily, the studio decided they wanted this movie to be successful, so they brought in Joel Schumacher to direct and gave Donner some producer credits to play with. And Schumacher felt the story should be darker and more mature, and the rest is hip gyrating history. So in addition to a brilliant director, this movie also has one of the greatest casts ever assembled. First off, Kiefer Sutherland. If you do not appreciate this man as an actor, check your pulse, because there is something wrong with you. And of course, it has the two Coreys. This movie was the genesis of the two Coreys. You know, at some point in time, I probably should do a video about the pop culture phenomenon that was the Coreys, Heyman Feldman. They appeared together in a total of 9 films, had their own TV show, but it all started right here. And it's got Jason Patric. You know, Solar Babies, Speed 2 Cruise Control. Come on, man. It's got Alex Winter.
I'm Bill S. Preston, Esquire.
That alone ups the cool factor by like 10%, right? It's got Jamie Gertz. Y'all remember her from Twister, right?
Cow,
I gotta go, Julia. We got cows.
Now, I will go on record and say Star is probably her most iconic role. But I'm pretty sure We Got Cows will wind up on her headstone. It's got Diane Wiest. Am I a fan of Diane Wiest? No, of course not. She stars in all those crappy Lifetime woman's disease movies that my sister can't get enough of. But she does a great job here. It's got these guys. I got no idea who the hell they are, but they're cool. Last but certainly not least, it has my absolute favorite non-action, non-sci-fi, non-horror character actor, Edward Herrmann. I absolutely adore this man. I don't care what he's playing. I don't care if he's trying to sell me a Dodge. I don't care if he's playing Richie Rich's dad. I don't care if he's playing Herman Munster. I don't care if he's playing Franklin Delano Roosevelt twice. But of course, his most endearing role was that of Richard Gilmore in The Gilmore Girls. Don't judge me, that show was the shit. Okay, on to the movie. Meet Lucy Emerson, her 2 sons Michael and Sam, and their lovable pooch, Nanook. Recently divorced, she and the boys are moving to the seaside town of Santa Carla to stay with her dad until she gets back on her feet. And I gotta say, he is the coolest on-screen grandpa ever.
Dad? Dad?
Looks like he's dead.
No, he's just a deep sleeper.
If he's dead, could we go back to Phoenix?
Playing dead. And from what I heard, doing a damn good job of it, too.
And the movie doesn't waste any time letting you know what the freaky shit's going on.
Hey, Grandpa, is it true that Santa Carla's the murder capital of the world?
Well, there's some bad elements around here.
Wait a second, let me get this straight. Are you telling me that we moved to the murder capital of the world? Are you serious, Grandpa?
Well, now let me put it this way. If all the corpses buried around here was to stand up all at once, we'd have one hell of a population problem.
Hell, the opening scene is just a big, fat, juicy kill. So after settling in, the family decides to go check out the boardwalk. Michael is mesmerized by some mystery girl. We'll expand upon that later. And Sam goes to check out a comic book store. And it's here that we meet the Frog Brothers, Edgar and Allan. Okay, now, there is good acting, there is bad acting, and then there's hammy acting. Hammy acting is where you're so over the top and so ridiculous that it comes off as brilliant. And these two guys could teach a class on that technique.
You think we just work in a comic book store for our folks, huh?
Actually, I thought it was a bakery.
This is just our cover. We're dedicated to a higher purpose. We're fighters for truth, justice, and the American way.
Now, this is a very memorable scene for me.
Buddy, if you're looking for the diet frozen yogurt bar, it went out of business last summer.
Actually, I'm looking for a Batman number 14.
That's a very serious book, man.
Only 5 in existence.
4, actually. I'm always looking out for the other 3. Look, you can't put the Superman number 77s with the 200s. They haven't even discovered red kryptonite yet. And you can't put the number 98s with the 300s. Lori Lamaris hasn't even been introduced.
The first time I saw this movie, I was just getting into comic book collecting. So my first impression was, damn, Sam's a badass. But now that I've been doing it for a couple of decades, I got a lot of problems with what's going on here. So, warning, I'm about to go off on a comic book related tirade. If you don't want to hear that, you might want to skip ahead. Okay, first off, Batman number 14 is not that rare. As of 2019, there are hundreds of copies still in existence. And the cheapest ones sell... Now they're being stored. These are incredibly valuable Golden Age comics just sitting out in the open. Okay, look at this. Mylar baggie, cardstock backing. This is the bare minimal for storage. Sitting on a shelf where little kids can get their Cheeto-encrusted fingers all over. Lastly, close the damn doors. Get some climate control in there. Do you have any idea what a coastal environment can do to 40-year-old newsprint? Okay, sorry, where was I? Right, Sam and the Frog Brothers. Okay, sorry about that. So anyways, the Frog Brothers give Sam a heads up about things that go bump in the night in Santa Carla. And Sam's like, yeah, right, whatever. Okay, so let's check in on the rest of the Emerson clan. Lucy meets a nice, charming video store owner named Max. And no, Max is not a vampire. He's not the mastermind behind all the killings going on in Santa Carla. He certainly doesn't have plans to turn Lucy into a vampire and make him his undead concubine. And no, this isn't a mislead, and the movie goes to great lengths to make sure that you know that. Anyways, Michael's hot on the trail of Mystery Girl, aka Star, and it's here that we meet the main attraction. Dwayne, Paul, Marco, and of course, David. Also, there's Laddie, who's like their sidekick, I guess. This kid serves no purpose in the film. I've often wondered if maybe he was like a producer's nephew or something. No, he's just an actor. I guess Schumacher was like, I gotta have a little kid who looks like a Confederate drummer boy or I walk. Which would have been interesting if he actually was a drummer boy dating back to the Civil War. But the movie makes it clear that he joined the gang fairly recently. So anywho, we get some generic banter, and then David challenges Michael to a race.
You know where Hudson's Bluff is overlooking the point?
I can't beat your bike.
You don't have to beat me, Michael. You just have to try and keep up.
For some reason in the 80s, all tests of strength were settled with trial by dirt bike.
Come on, Michael!
What the hell are you doing, huh? No! Just you! Come on! Just you!
So after everyone puts their dicks back in their pants, they head to their clubhouse, / secret lair, / bat cave, whatever.
Not bad, huh? This was the hottest resort in Santa Carla about 85 years ago.
Too bad they built it on the fault. In 1906, when the big one hit San Francisco,
The ground opened up, and this place took a header right into the crack. So now it's ours.
And they have some Chinese food and start fucking around with Michael.
How are those maggots?
maggots, Michael. You're eating maggots. How do they taste?
Leave him alone.
So what they're doing here is they're setting up Michael to drink David's blood and turn him into a vampire. Oh, by the way, they're all vampires. I probably shouldn't mention that.
Drink some of this, Michael. Be one of us.
Don't. You don't have to, Michael. It's blood.
Yeah, sure.
And I think the setup to this is pretty clever, because usually in a scene like this, the writing is very lazy. Usually it goes like this. Here, drink this. Dude, it smells like blood. It's not blood, come on. Okay. Ha! Loser, you totally drank blood. Afterwards, they head to a railroad bridge and test that old cliche of, if all your friends jumped, would you join them? And somehow the next morning, Michael wakes up in his bed safe and sound. I'd really like to know the sequence of events that led him there, but whatever, let's move on. Okay, so Michael is now a vampire. Or, specifically, a half-vampire. You see, every vampire movie has its own unique take on vampire lore. In the Lost Boys universe, to become a vampire, one must drink the blood of a vampire, and that begins the transformation, but it's not complete until they make their first kill. So Michael has some of the strengths of a vampire, but not all of the weaknesses. For instance, sunlight's not going to kill him, although I'm pretty sure if you drove a stake through his heart, he'd probably still die. And it doesn't take Sam very long to figure out what's going on.
Look at your reflection in the mirror. You're creature of the night, Michael. Just like out of a comic book. You're a vampire, Michael. My own brother, a goddamn shit-sucking vampire. Oh, you wait till Mom finds out, buddy.
Sammy, wait. Sam!
So he reaches out to the Frog Brothers for help.
He's a vampire, all right. All right, here's what you do. Get yourself a good sharp stake and drive it right through his heart.
I can't do that. He's my brother.
Okay, we'll come over and do it for you.
No.
And they tell Sam that he can save Michael if he kills the head vampire. So, instead of just asking Michael, hey, who did this to you? He just automatically assumes that Max must be the head vampire. So they decide to set up a little test for Max. They invite him over and put him through all the paces. Garlic.
You want some Parmesan cheese on that?
Yeah, Sam, thank you very much.
Are you all right?
No, it's not cheese, it's garlic.
I bet you hate garlic, don't you?
No, I like garlic. It's just a little much.
Holy water.
Quick, drink some water.
Whoa! Sam, what's the matter with you?
Does it burn?
Burn? What are you, nuts? It's freezing.
And casting no reflection in a mirror.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
That's right.
Gosh. Now what?
Must be circuit breaker, Mom.
Ah! Oh! Sam, what has gotten into you tonight?
And of course, Max passes all the tests with flying colors. See? Told you he's not the head vampire. Meanwhile, Michael confronts Star about what's going on. Even though it's painfully obvious what's going on, you are a vampire! And Star's all like,
Look, I tried to warn you, dumbass, but you're a vampire now. So suck it up and give me some of that undead cock.
So they have hot-ass vampire sex, and then he heads back home.
Looks like I wasn't the only one got lucky last night, huh?
Sam finally wises up and is like, hey, bro, who's the head vampire? Michael's like, David, duh. Sam's like, right, I knew that. I just wanted to make sure you knew that. So Michael, Sam, and the Frog Brothers head on over to the clubhouse to stake the crap out of David and his minions. And Michael gets distracted by Poo-Tang.
Star. I'm taking you out of here.
No, take Laddie first, please.
We gotta have Laddie! For the love of God, get Laddie out of there! He's crucial to the plot! Of course, without Michael there to point out which one is actually David, they just take a wild guess as to which one is him, and stake Marco.
Lucas.
Yes, because this bug-eyed goofball with a perm mullet is absolutely the mastermind here. Not the chiseled-jawed Adonis hanging just to the right. That would be stupid. You know, what I love the most about doing these reviews is no matter what movie, no matter how many times I've seen it throughout my life, I always learn something new. I always pick up some little detail that I never noticed before, and I just think that's awesome. For example, right here. Have any of you ever noticed Marco's blood sparkles? It's sparkling in the daylight. Stephanie Meyer, you thieving little bitch! So anyways, the kids know they did an oopsie, and come sundown, shit's gonna get real.
We blew it, man. We lost it. Shut up. We unraveled in the face of the enemy. It's not our fault. They pulled the mind scramble on us. They opened their eyes and talked.
So we're treated to a really cool pre-battle montage. And come sundown, shit does indeed get real. The vampires attack, but not en masse where they could use their strength to overwhelm them. No, they do it one at a time, which makes sense from a storytelling point of view because then each vampire gets his own unique death scene. The Frog Brothers melt Paul in a bathtub full of holy water and garlic, with a little assist from Nanook. Sam takes out Dwayne in a pretty badass way, I think. We had a little Ride the Lightning here just for effect. And of course, Michael and David have to have their epic showdown.
Afraid to face me, David? Huh?
Tried to make you immortal.
You tried to make me a killer!
Now, what's really cool is throughout the movie, you never see the vampires actually fly. All the scenes where they're swooping in for the kill, it's implied that they're flying. Now, this is actually done for budgetary concerns, but it's a really cool storytelling technique because then in the finale, you get to see this. So ultimately, Michael outvamps David and impales him on one of Grandpa's weird-ass taxidermy projects. And nothing happens. They're still all vampy and shit.
Don't let them see me like this. Yeah. Get away, Sam.
Mike, go drunk.
I said get away!
Well, apparently David was not the head vampire. Right on cue, Lucy shows up with Max in tow. Now, remember when I said Max was not the head vampire? I lied. Of course he's the head vampire. You're probably asking yourself,
but wait, he passed all the tests. How is that possible?
Max, you want to answer that one for us?
Don't ever invite a vampire into your house, you silly boy. It renders you powerless.
Did you know that?
Of course.
And just when all hope seems lost, Grandpa busts through the wall, impales Max with a fence post, which causes him to explode for some reason, and poof, Michael and Star and unfortunately Laddie are all human again. And this is just the best ending to a movie ever.
Dad? Dad, are you all right?
One thing about living in Santa Carla I never could stomach. All the damn vampires.
People are strange.
And that's Lost Boys. Now, this is part of the review where I discuss the critical response and the box office results and whatnot, but I don't need to do that. It's Lost Boys. Of course it was a fucking hit. And its cult status is legendary. So that's just a Google search that I don't even have to do. But now we do got to talk about the sequels. Oh boy. Yeah, so it took them like 20 years to finally crap one out. In 2008, we got the direct-to-DVD shitfest Lost Boys The Tribe. This movie could have been so much more. This is one of those examples of Hollywood just doesn't know what to do with a property, so they strangle it until it dies. They were actually able to get the two Coreys and Jameson Newlander to reprise the roles of the Frog Brothers and Sam. That alone would have made the movie epic. But for some reason, they decided to cut Alan Frog's entire appearance from the movie, and they reduced Sam's role to a single cameo in the closing credits.
You really expect me to act like nothing ever happened?
No, I've already forgiven you. It's water under the bridge. Stay.
Where apparently he's a vampire now. Why? Why? Just as an anecdote, when I saw the trailer for this movie, I was like, who's this dime store Kiefer Sutherland ripoff trying to act like he's David? And my sister was like, that's his brother, Angus Sutherland? And I was like, oh, good choice. And then 2 years later, we got Lost Boys The Thirst. And they finally gave some screen time to Alan. But it was too little too late, because by then, sadly, Corey Haim had passed away. Hollywood, you had a golden opportunity to reunite the greatest vampire hunting trio ever. And you shit all over it. I don't care whatever bullshit reason you came up to justify it. That is a crime against fandom that cannot be forgiven. So what does the future hold for the franchise? Well, as of 2020, not a damn thing, thank God. There was plans for a fourth movie, but after The Thirst slammed into the $5.99 DVD bin at Walmart, the production company that holds the movie rights fortunately went under. And apparently the CW has desperately been trying to make a TV series for the better part of a decade, but it's languishing in development hell where it belongs. Hollywood, just keep your greedy, grubby little mitts off this movie, okay? It's perfect just the way it is. If you're desperate for cash, go make another Fast and the Furious movie. Have you sent him into space? It's probably time to send him into space. Just go ahead and get that done. Well, that's all I got to say about The Lost Boys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Cry, little sister.